we wanted to talk a little bit about boundaries, but wow, that's a huge...
Encompasses a lot.
Yeah. We wanted to talk more about boundaries within work-life boundaries, which we talked about
a little bit. It's a good little add-on to, I think, the last thing we talked about last episode, for sure, because I think it goes right along with it, because this is something that we've had to deal with, because you talk about conflict and bringing your work home. Like, everyone in some capacity, like, has bad days at work, right? My bad days at work, for example, are just a little bit different, as a lot of people's lives are different. Some people have lives that no one sees, but have huge implications. So I want to be sensitive to understanding there's people out there doing real work that moves the needle globally. A bad day at work means a bad thing for a lot of people. My bad day at work is bad mostly just because everybody sees it, right? And we deal with that. We've had to figure out how to deal with that, you know, and how you transition from work to being home and being a dad and being with kids who ultimately don't know or really care what just happened, you know. And you know, I think that's something that we had to learn that and figure that out, because that's something that we didn't really get to experience. We talked about how lucky we were to be together in college, but in college at Eastern Washington, shout out to the Eags, you know, you're not like, you know, games aren't really broadcast to a wide audience. Venues are small. It's just smaller.
Yeah.
Everything's smaller.
Yes.
And there wasn't a whole lot of conflict. And like,
yes, right. While you had failure, it was very minimal. And it was, the scope of it, I feel like, was also much smaller.
Yeah.
And the NFL, you are a rookie. There's just so many more implications. You have this complete new system. I think also in college you had a redshirt year. So you also were able to
ease into it, figure it out a little bit. Yeah. And I think, you know, as you transition to also being a father and a mother, this also changes, because it's not just, you know, I think where you can give me and have thankfully given me so much grace and space to, like, when I haven't done a good job of pulling myself out of that place, to be able to be like, okay, help me get there. Like, it's new implications when I'm not there, and we've got kids, and they see me not being there, you know, and so like that is different as well.
How do you feel like you have grown through that, and like what has that boundary and growth and change?
Well, I think
looked like
coming to the NFL, I think I made way too big of a deal out of being in the NFL. That might sound like, I don't know, people probably hate that I say that, but like, I saw it as like a dang near life and death thing that was very black and white. Like, you're either a failure or you're a success, and there's no in between on this. It's just like sharp judgment and harsh critique.
For yourself.
For myself, yes. Yeah. And at this time, I think I was way too open to outside noise, you know, being aware of what is also then being said about me. And while that's important in our building and having trusted coaches who are ultimately the only ones that you should care about yourself and what your teammates and coaches are, this is what matters. Anything outside of that is nothing, but being way too open to hearing what is being said about our team, about myself, about whatever, and how that can influence me. And so coming in with that mindset, like, everything's way more important. Anything that happens now is like, you're either at the highest of highs or you're at the lowest of lows, right? There's no middle ground there. And how difficult it is then to like take that and come home and be like, present here, when I was just either on the, like, way at the top or way at the bottom, and I'm just like feel like there's no way out of this, you know. And I think it was a very unhealthy place to be, and I've grown so much in just being like, it is such a blessing to play in the NFL. I absolutely love it. It's so much fun. It is so small. It is a small thing that I get to be a part of, and I'm so thankful because it's a really cool thing. But I do not find my identity in this, and I do not care about what globally is said about myself or the team or whatever. It's like, what can we do in our building? We're the only ones that know what's going on.
Yeah.
Anything else is just speculation and means zero. And like being in this place, like we get to work together towards something. And then when that's going on and we're in that place, like as long as I have the trust of my teammates and I'm working for my teammates, no matter whether it's good or bad, we all have good days and bad days, but like they know I'm doing everything I can to be the best for them. It's like now I just went from here, this little place of trust, to going home. And I get to be home with my wife and with my boys, and like even when there's failures here, then the thing that I think has grown is how we have then been able to like, how can we pull each other out, and how where you've been there for me.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Just when you come home, I have been home most days with the kids and the things that have gone on in my life, the good days, the bad days. Like you are the person that I get to talk to about them. Like I'm venting, but it's also just like we're talking about our family and life. And so a lot of the things that happen in my day that is considered a bad day or, you know, a good day also, I share them with you because it's our life, our family. I need you in that, you know, way of just having that support. And I think that being able to not just disregard anything that happens at your work as just, oh, that's your work. You have to keep like, you know, your work when you come home is like, it's not allowed. You know, you're not allowed to have any frustration about work at home. You know, I think being able to support you in the things that are happening at work and the frustrations that are happening outside of our family, you know, being able to see it as such as like, this is something that I need to support you in also. And it's not going to be all consuming, just like our, you know, the issues that I'm walking through aren't going to be all consuming, but being able to not say, okay, your work stays at your work and like home stays at home, because that is such a huge part, obviously, of you, and being able to walk alongside you as your wife and support you through things that you're going through that are hard, you know, and being able to just bring in that support and have that balance within walking through them and being home together.
Yeah.